Okay, so I've put the loader on. You've probably seen those videos, and now I'm going to start to repair the things that I don't like about the loader. It's not so much the loader, but the push guard and the grill guard and all that other happy horse shit that causes an expensive ass ache. I don't need an expensive ass ache. I need my ass aches to be cheap, cheap, cheap. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm minimizing costs here to the front end of this tractor. First thing my dad did was he caught something in the grill. Okay? Wow, how did that happen, you might ask? With that thing on there, how could that possibly happen? Well, here's the grill guard, and as you notice, there's nothing there to protect the front of the tractor, really. There's just this thing here, and the wagons have things that can come through them. We don't like things that come through them. That's a problem. So what I have to do is actually weld flat iron in between here to prevent him from having that go through. The other thing that happened right off the bat is he bumped the trailer. He bumped the trailer on the tractor trailer, the 48102 trailer that Carl drives. The one that I drive is much lower. It's a step deck, so it's much lower to the ground. So what I've decided to do, and it's got all these holes in here, and every time you put holes in something, it takes metal away and makes it weaker. So what I've decided to do is take this chunk of flat steel, which is, it's 5 inches wide, and it is 3/4 of an inch thick. So I've got it marked. You can see my marks here. I'm going to bring them up to the right level there where they are to be, and I'm going to weld that thing fast, solid. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to weld the holes shut, all but the holes that I need for the front of it. So I'm going to weld the holes shut. I'm going to weld across here, weld across there, and that will weld the holes shut, and I will be able to bolt that thing on there without too much trouble. So it will be a lot stronger. Now, as you can see, I've made wings. I've extended it past the grill guard there so that it will come out approximately 9 inches from here, out here, which will pass the hood, and I'm going to use those wings to weld up the sides here. So I will have steel come up from those wings and probably bring it back underneath and then back forward to protect my grill. I don't want my grill destroyed. Whether I use flat steel and bring it from the back to the forward, which is probably what I'm going to do, and then possibly a wing here, something to keep it from causing major damage when he gets up against a trailer or whether he gets up against something else. I'm just going to make it stronger. Not that this isn't strong, it's just it isn't strong enough for me. You got a 26,000 pound tractor here that has a loader on it now and a bunch of bales of hay on the front of it. You got 3 bales on the front of there. You're looking at another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.5 tons of weight up there, or yeah, close to 2.5 tons of weight on there, and that's another 5,500 pounds, 600 pounds, 6,000 pounds more on there. You're looking at 30,000 pounds of stop. It's got to stop, and it's got to be heavy. It's got to be thick and it's got to be heavy. So that's why I'm going with that 3/4 inch piece of plate steel, and I'm gonna bolt that right to that, and that should definitely strengthen this part where it's mounted, because quite honestly, a 1/2 inch of steel doesn't get me excited. I don't even think that's a 1/2 inch. I think it's like more like, yeah, that's like 3/8. You got 3/8 and you got 3/4. I don't know, that might even be a 1/4 inch. To be quite honest with you, why don't I just measure it and stop guessing, right? Hold on a second. I'm gonna measure it. I think it's 3/8. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch. So it's 3/8 steel. Now 3/8 is thin. So if I add 3/4 to it and weld it fast at 3/8 and then sew up the bolt holes, yeah, I'm looking at over an inch of steel to be pushing on. This piece here is looking like 3/4 of an inch right there, so that's pretty strong. And then anything that I weld here to up here to brace this will make that even stronger and keep it from bending, and it should be good. I just want to protect the front of my tractor. I'm actually going to extend the top of this a little bit, plate those in, extend the top of this to protect, just so it just protects right up to the base of the lights. Can't do anything about the top of the lights because there's just no room there, but I just really need to get this thing strong. Got to get it strong. So that's what I'm up to. Anyway, if you don't like fast forward, you can stop watching now, because I'm going to do some grinding, welding, and fast forwarding. So, thank you. There's water dripping from the roof.
Yep.
Sorry, we don't need to film every square inch of it. I don't know why. Okay, so I cut out a lot of the cursing, the swearing, the drilling, the beating, the banging, and the welding. I don't know how much I've got, but this is the finished product. Got Teresa over there holding her nose. You can barely see the old grill guard. This is a piece of it. There's one here. And of course this is the base. Now what I did was I added a shit ton of steel to this thing. The original base of the grill guard was 3/8 of an inch, where you bolted it fast to the front. I cannot use the weight bracket, even though the weight bracket would have been way better than what I've got on here. Well, I can't say it would be way better. The weight bracket would have protected the grill. We had a little mishap already. Going up to the wagon, one of the beams went through the grill guard and actually bumped the grill, or the screen, the dirt screen, through the grill guard. So I decided we would definitely revamp it. When he did that, he actually bent the original grill guard. 3/8 steel was no good. So I added 3/4 inches of steel, 5" by 3/4, flat steel behind the 3/8, and then I welded shut. You can see these little dimples. I welded shut the holes that were for other tractors or other mounts. So that grabbed the hold of that 3/4 inch plate of steel in 14 or 8 different places, 4 on each side. And of course I ended up drilling out the holes to the proper size so that I could get the grade 8.8 bolts in there. So now that part of it is definitely not going to bend very easily. So that still left the sides here for things to catch my screens, which I decided I would use 1/2 inch. I think that's 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch by 6" flat iron. I welded it the full length of the original grill guard, which only covered about that much. Yeah, so I welded it the full length on both sides, adding to the rigidity of the damn thing so that it won't bend side to side if he catches something like the side of the truck. He was hitting the side of the truck with this part here, and that's what he did. He banged into the side of the truck with it and actually forced it back. So we're not going to worry about that anymore, because it would have to literally shear off the bolts before anything else can move now. It has to shear off the bolts at that point. So to prevent things from going through, I took this, I think that's, what is that, 3/16 angle iron, 2x2 angle iron. I wanted it to go the other way, but Dad made a valid point that if you put it so that it is in the other direction, it will deflect sticks and things into the grill, whereas this one here will actually deflect them to the center of the angle iron, catching it and keeping it from going into the grill. Good point on his part. I did that there. Then I took another piece of angle iron and I welded it to the top of this steel here, the flat iron, and around the back side of this original piece of the grill guard. And then I just made, and I'll do it on the other side because I painted it and it doesn't, you can't see it too well. But then I just took some 1/4 inch flat, I think it's 1.5, yeah, about 1.5 1/4 inch flat metal, and I cut it out and I welded it to the end just to finish it off, give it a nice finishing touch to the grill guard. Now you can step back from the tractor a little bit. The reason you can't make it, I can add to the top of this, but the problem is, watch, right here. When you open that hood, it comes within 1 inch of that grill guard, and the hood continues to pass. So that's like the maximum height you can make it without actually having to tilt it forward. The problem with tilting it forward is up there. That round piece of pipe. That comes within about 2 to 3 inches of the top of this. So if I tilt it forward, I'm going to smack into the pipe on the loader. It comes very close. Reason I couldn't use the weight bracket is because it stuck out so far and hit the pipe in the center of the boom. So that's why I was stuck with the original grill guard. That is the heavy-duty grill guard from Westendorf. I have made it quadruple heavy-duty now today, and it took the better part of the afternoon to do this, wouldn't you say? I'd say so. So I'm going to call it a job well done. Anything sticks and brush and stuff, they may be deflected off. If I have to do anything more, I'll actually put, because I've got this little piece here, I can actually put a deflector, you know, whether I put another piece of angle iron or something there to deflect anything away from the side of the hood. But I think I've done a pretty decent job of farmer engineering it and putting it back together. No matter how heavy I make that thing, it is only as strong as the bolts that hold it on there. So there is 6 bolts there. I'd have liked 8, but there just wasn't 8 holes there. If we go over here to this mount, see, John Deere only makes them so that there's 6 holes, because the weight is on the top pushing down, and then the bottom bolt, I don't know what, it really doesn't even need to be there. That could just be a dowel pin, but for the bracket for that is, well, that's what you get. And I painted it black because it just, I don't know, you can't hardly tell that the damn thing is on there going down the road, I guess. So there it is. Anyway, that's that. Job 1 done. Got another job up top there, but it's going to involve steel, and we will get into that another day, like probably tomorrow, the next day. Tomorrow's Sunday, so I'm going to say Monday or Tuesday. I'll be building another structure to the loader, Right, Teresa?
Yep.
That's what I'm going to do, whether they like it or not. I'm doing it.